Georges to St. Andrews, St. Patrick's to St. David. Chantimel to Mount Craven, l'amour que Sainte-Marthe. We're on the road, NMP on the road, NMP guide us, we're on the road. Go tell our enemies, show them.
Welcome, and what a wonderful day it is, and I say wonderful, letting you know that I'm in a very wonderful environment, just the same, very earthly environment when you're in this part of the country, and I'm talking Grenada here. When you're in this part of the country, you feel all the breeze and the atmosphere is welcoming in the true sense. And I'm talking about the environment, the home of the opposition leader, the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the former Prime Minister of Grenada, if you don't know. So I'm letting you know now. And I'm in his company today. And because it's the focus of attention. He's the focus of attention. His new national party is also the focus of attention. And I thought it good reason that we could sit and have a conversation on the basis of turn of events. He has made a decision that he would not be contesting the leadership of the new national party at the convention, which is upcoming. The convention that is drawing a lot of conversation, a lot of attention, and a lot of programming. And Dr. Mitchell, you are at the forefront. Nice to be here in this environment.
Well, welcome, Selvin, and of course, I look forward to this course. As you know, I've been involved in the political arena for literally 40 years consecutively. So, and I even ran for election even before that, before I went away and did my academic work and did other work. So clearly, with the length of time of service in the political arena and most of it, and key positions, as you know, I was the General Secretary of the New National Party in 1984, when the party won the first general election after the fall of the revolution. And then by 1989, I became the political leader. So it's basically 35 years and counting that I've been the leader of the New National Party. And of course, in the meantime, I've been the Prime Minister for literally 23 years. That's a lot of years as head of anything, and more so a country. So I think everyone understands in life, nothing is permanent. That is just the simple thing that we all must be aware of. And there must be a time when we all have to leave the things that we love so dearly and have been involved in for a long period of time. And I'm comfortable with myself that this is the appropriate time when it appears that the Lord has given me quite a considerable life so far and reasonably feeling healthy at this particular time. And the feeling is that with the appearance of emerging leadership within the New National Party and the fact that people appear to be taking responsibility, it's a good time for me while I'm able to be around to continue to provide advice and support, that I don't wait till I'm not able to do it. And therefore, this is the right time to have someone, a person who take over the leadership of the party, political leadership, that is, of the party, while I'm able to provide myself and others who have been around for a long time and have enough experience to be able to provide support and guidance going forward. And I'm very comfortable with this. In fact, that planning was done some time ago. The only difference was I was expecting to win the election and demit office at the 50th anniversary of our independence. Well, in life, not everything you plan works out, but to me, this is the right time, and therefore, that decision has been communicated with the political party that has given me so much over the years. It gave me all that opportunity to lead them, and therefore, I am happy, very happy. And I must want everyone to understand this is a decision that was taken lightly. This is not a decision that was taken just about myself. It is about, yes, I have to be part of the consideration as personality, so personally so. But more importantly, I think it's about the party, and it's about the country. And I will honestly believe that given the level of poor governance that we've seen under this government and the unpopularity of this government and the lack of empathy and love and interest that you see prevailing among the members and particularly the leadership of the government, it tells me that this is the right time to provide that new image, new support system, and give that person the opportunity to really show the nation in period in opposition that they are quite capable of handling the affairs of government. And I'll be very much there to provide the necessary support as we move forward. So I'm at peace about this, and I feel very honored that I'm in a position to do that at this particular time. And there should be no worry from people that things will change in the NNP. Yes, the new leader may have different views and different ideas, but the fundamental aspect of governance and the love, the respect for democracy, the love for people, the willingness to help to see people at all levels move forward, that whole process would continue. And I'm very proud to be able to have to share this as we go forward.
How did your national executive accept this?
Well, I think they would have been aware of my where I stood with this. So I think some of them were willing to say to me that they would like me to continue until the next general election, and after that, maybe after a year in the prime ministership again, then to hand it over and so on. There's some who felt strongly that I should do this, but over a period of time, I think they all come to terms that with my willingness to understand that I would like to depart the leadership at this time and to provide someone. So I think people over a period of months, because over the last year, there was clearly that understanding that I was willing to look seriously at this, and I think more and more as time passes, most of them come to that understanding that it is in best interest of myself, the party, while I'm still able to give the support. And I made it very clear to them that I'm offering myself as chairman of the party going forward. In other words, I am not going out from the scene, because I feel relatively well physically, and I feel I'm still in a good position to offer advice in many areas and so on. So if I lead the party, and the party must always be seen as playing a critical role in advising the government. In any political party that does not assume serious responsibility for the government that it elects into office will find itself in trouble, because the general feeling and the general philosophy has been that government party wins election and government loses it. That is a saying that is known originally and internationally. But therefore, while if the the delegates and the party so accept my offer to be chairman, the party under my chairmanship will play a very critical role in providing support and advice to the government as it moves forward.
You have wide-ranging experience in the political field. Just like the cricket field, I know you to be a cricketer, so you had experience in cricket as well.
Right.
You would know the memorable moments in cricket.
Of course.
You have any memorable moments that, out of the experiences that you have got, that you would want to probably archive?
Selwyn, too numerous to mention. Clearly, the fact that I think something that always sticks out is the fact that we are able to transform this country in terms of infrastructural development. We all know that in 1984 period, the country, only 45% of the country had electricity. We transformed the electricity services, that we brought electricity to a wide range of villages throughout the length and breadth of the country. And I feel extremely proud of, as you probably would remember, the opening of turning on lights in several villages. The first one was Munich, and I remember they had a Munich Festival of Lights almost every year. And so people have been proud, and we have been proud of this achievement. The road program throughout the length and breadth of the country, where the rural communities, main roads, we did enormous work, because when I came back home in '84, we literally, there was this saying, there was road in the hole. You remember that calypso? Yes. Road in the hole. Now I think people could say more and more during our time. There's more hole in the road if there were any. But again, I think we are moving in another direction now. The roads are getting extremely bad under this government. So I would always remember that. And one of the change in telecommunication services, I would never forget coming home and trying to make a telephone call abroad, or trying to call from abroad to home. It was going through pains. But we brought the first digital telephone system in the OECS. Grenada had, and Carriacou was the first recipient of that innovation and transformation in telecommunication services throughout the country. And we liberalized telecommunications, as you know, to make it much cheaper, so that the cost of telephone services were literally marginal compared to what it was 20, 30 years ago. So that's another achievement. The distribution of port-borne water around the country is another major achievement, all at the doorstep of the new National Party. It's significant that we won 6 elections during that period, 84 to 2022. But you know something? There were 3 times the NDC was in government. And you cannot tell anyone what was the major achievement of the National Democratic Congress in 3 terms in government. You can't tell. So we feel a proud sense of achievement. And don't forget, there were lots of innovation in the healthcare system. Healthcare is still a problem, and it's terribly worse now in the last 2 years. But we also did an enormous amount in education, because we all know, Salo, when I grew up, there were very few opportunities as a young boy to go into secondary school. The few scholarships, I was able to get one of them, but you had to be lucky. Now, we have provided opportunities for children not only to go to high school, secondary school, but we are able to universities. Hundreds of scholarships were given in short periods of time to different parts of the world, so that people can obtain high level of training and so on. So whether it's education, whether it's health, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's the whole question of fairness in the whole question of the parliamentary system, because only recently Prime Minister Holness was making this point. And I think sometimes Grenadians, we overlook the significance of this. The fact is, we won 3 elections, 15 seats, with no opposition. No one has been able to say that we misused power and we acted arrogantly and behave as if we're bigger than than the people of the country. We always conducted ourselves as servants of the people. There is a government in office today that only 2 years in office and is behaving arrogant, appears to be making decisions without even talking to the people and handing down decisions and behaving as if they are masters of the people when the leaders of the country are supposed to be servants of the people. And it is frightening what we see happening. And what is to me more frightening, Selwyn? When we are in government, even when we don't make mistakes, people are out in the streets demonstrating. Where are the trade union voices today? Where is the trade union voices? Where are those voices? They are still in the country. But you hear little or nothing. The government is seem not able to run roughshod over the people of the country. And everybody's waiting on the opposition members to say something. When in fact, when we had 15 seats, there were no opposition. But you had people in the street, you had comments from all sorts of parties about government. And you know what is strange? So, very interesting to make this point. Sometimes you believe NNP is still in government, because all the NNP is hearing about. Keith Mitchell, NNP. Keith Mitchell, NNP. And the other members. Well, now, Sister Emilyn Pierre is moving ahead upward, so you're hearing something about here. But, what is that about? A government in office, a prime minister is hardly in this country. In fact, a gentleman tell me, Doc, when you used to go, and I had to laugh at this, up to today I was telling someone about it. Say, Doc, when you were in government, every time you travel, you tell us when you're leaving, and we know when you come back. And then you have a press conference and you tell us what you receive. We hear nothing today. But the big announcement the President Prime Minister has to make now, he has to announce when he's in the island. and I had to laugh. So the announcement is not about him traveling, it's about his back. Because clearly what the point he's making is that the President Prime Minister seems to be out more than in. In fact, I wonder, in more than anything else, why he took the portfolio of Minister of Works. Because when I was Minister of Works, I used to be all over the country, in all villages, doing all kinds of stuff and meeting the road workers and dealing with people at all levels and so on. But that's the mindset of this government, and all that we have to say, we have to concentrate on what is best for the country. So I ask people to put some attention on the present government, what they're doing to the people of the country, instead of focusing on NNP and NNP convention and so on. We are in opposition. We're not governing in the country at this particular time. Yes, we're preparing for governance, and I'm quite confident NNP will emerge in a strong position at the calling of the next general election, whenever it comes.
How do you outline the policy of the party?
The party's philosophy. It's well known that, and I've always said this, a government has responsibility to create the enabling environment for all citizens to make the contribution they wish to make, or to advance themselves in all sense with the policy and program of a government. So whether the government call itself center right or center left or whatever, that should be the fundamental principle of any government. Now, in my view, and the party have always made it very clear, that while the party does that and see to it that everyone has an opportunity to move forward based on its programs and principles and philosophy, the government must always have a focus on dealing with the marginalized in the society, because they need government help more than anyone else. So, and I think no one could doubt that the new National Party, over the period of governance that it has been responsible for the country since 1984, there's always been a strong emphasis on the poor and vulnerable. In fact, I heard it said, in this government, every time the former Prime Minister opens his mouth, he talk about the poor and vulnerable. Well, we should. And I have no apologies for this, because these people, the government must take care of everybody and give everybody opportunity. But the government must have a special focus on those who need government the most. And to me, that's so fundamentally basic. So I think we were involved in the Caribbean Democratic Union, and that gave us a lot of leverage regionally and internationally. I represented Prime Minister Blaise in 1986 at the major IDU meeting, the International Democrat meeting in West Germany, where you had all the leaders of the political organizations in the world, top leaders. You had Prime Minister Thatcher there, Reagan was there, Prime Minister Kaifu from Japan, the Chancellor Kohl from Germany, the President of France, all of them were there, and so on. And therefore, you felt a sense of kingship that you are with all these world leaders way back in 1986. So the international connection that the NMP developed helped the country in times of governance when you were in office. So we were proud of the fact that we had that relationship. I had a special relationship with President Bush. I don't think any other Prime Minister of the Caribbean could say they went to the White House 3 times. On one occasion, sitting in the White House, myself, President Bush, and the Prime Minister of Australia, John Howard. All 3 of us are sitting in the White House for over 3 hours, talking about the IDU, because John Howard, the Prime Minister of Australia, was then the chairman of the IDU. George Bush was vice chairman for the Americas, and I was chosen as vice president for Latin America and the Caribbean. So all 3 of us were at the White House, and that certainly helped, because when Ivan struck and destroyed Grenada, President Bush reached me personally after trying to get me, and sent a special phone to Grenada so that I can speak to him, and had me up to Washington within days, and with his support, sent Secretary of State Colin Powell down to Grenada, as you remember. And within days after he left, $50 million was given to Grenada to help in its reconstruction of the country. So the international connection, when I hear people talking about persons that have leverage and connection, and we had that leverage that no other prime minister or a party in Grenada has ever had. And in fact, we were the envy of the Caribbean during the period of George Bush. And every time a prime minister in the region wanted to speak to the White House, they called me first at that. And I mean, that was not Keith Mitchell, it was the new National Party as such. And so we were proud of the connection and the leverage that was given to the new National Party because of that regional and international, and also our philosophical approach to governance. No one could have said that we treated our citizens badly, that brutalized the citizens of this country and abused power. No one could say that. We were not perfect. Never was going to be perfect, and no individual is. But certainly the ability to give people opportunity, to listen to people, to accept the fact that you are not always correct. There were criticism, and sometimes we accepted the criticism and try to correct what we are doing. And to me, that is what the art of leadership is all about.
You would have gathered that kind of popularity. The population would have known you over a period of time. You would have known your population. In truth and in fact, your shoes are pretty a big one to fill, although knowing the strength of the man. Now that the convention is coming up, and there's going to be a new political leader, what in that political leader would you like to see?
First of all, political leader must be capable of understanding the issues that are responsible for moving the country forward. The new political leader would have to be seen as grounded, who has demonstrated love for people. The political leader must also show that that person has empathy and has been in a position where they have demonstrated before that they care deeply about people and have that national connection throughout the length and breadth of the country, and that they can be trusted with decision-making processes. And they must be willing to accept criticism, because that is a necessary part of governance. Anything you are involved in, whether it's business, whether it's sports, whether it's politics, whatever it is, if you do not understand that part of the job is to understand that people will differ with you, then you should not be there. So I think these are the main characteristics. And empathy. How do you show that you care about people? When a man is suffering, can he feel that you are understanding of his suffering? Even if you are not able to solve the problem. But because of the way you feel, you would show people that you're willing to reach out and see what you can do to help. And that's a serious part of leadership. Empathy, care for people, willingness to take risks to help people. And another part of leadership that is also very important, Selwyn, one thing leaders must always understand, you are not going to be seen as popular in every decision that you make. And you should never be trying to please everybody with a decision that you make. Because some decision might be in the interest of the country, but the vision of the leader sees that interest and goes for it. But the population or some sector of the population may not see it. They're not in that position and may tend to go against it. And if you are a weak leader or somebody without conviction, then you try to go with the wind. And then you screw the country. And so when you remember very well, Anthony, you could never forget Stone. How could you forget this? When in 1986, 87, when we had to get the crushed stones for the country and we didn't have, and we would lose over $16 million from the European Union, I had two choices, either to import the stone from St. Vincent so that we can get, or lose the money. And I know if I did it, that some people say, well, everywhere in the country have stone. And you remember we said I had a tell stone?
Yes.
And then we said,
and it's Calypso.
and the story was Blazer stone, this Blazer stone, that, but Mitchell still imported stone. And wherever I go, everywhere I go around the country, stone, they're cussing me. And it was a tough time. I remember going home one day after a tough day with the stone business. And as soon as I reached my son, it was about, Stone! I said, not here, not here. He never called me Stone again. But what happened? The same people criticized me and said, NNP dead now. I remember the Informer headline, NNP is dead now with importation of stone. The same newspaper in a year time named me Man of the Year when the roads had been built and people receiving the services, and they realized the intention of this importing the stone was not to do something unnecessarily illegal or something that would cause the country pain, but was necessary to save the road program that we had, the 16 million from the European Union, and to be able to bring services to the people. So when the people start receiving the services, the importation of stone, in fact, as you know, at Carnival I played Dr. Stone. And some of my friends were very happy, but my political enemies, they stopped calling me Dr. Stone, because I turned around and used that whole thing. And that's why I'm using the question of cheap popularity. It was not popular. If I had an election just before I made that decision, I would not have made it. Because I knew then people would be voting with that in turn and not having the opportunity to see the result of that decision. But this was early in our term, and many members in my cabinet were frightened. In fact, one member came to me, boy, he said, kid, boy, it's much easier to be teaching mathematics in a university than to be in this job. I say, yes, but we ain't doing it. There's no election now. For 3 years' time, 2 years' time, come back to me. And the result was clear.
Politics is an avenue where you as a leader will have that experience. Over the years, you would have made a lot of friends as well as a lot of enemies. How you stand up to being tough with that kind of sentiments?
Well, to me, people that oppose me, I don't consider them enemies. You know, I accept the fact that no matter who you are and what you do, there'll always be people who oppose what you do and who probably don't like you as an individual. And I don't know that you can strive and hope to strive successfully in life trying to search for people to like you, even when you've done nothing for them to dislike you. And you recall, in all the 15 seats that we won 3 times, there was still about 30% of the population that voted against us. So if you were going to be catering for just the voices that are not supportive, you will not take any serious decision and the country will not improve the way you want it to. So I'm making that point, that popularity, as I said before, is something that you should judge carefully and that you should be looking at what is best for the country. And to me, leadership is about using the opportunity to have to improve the lives of people. In the process, in doing it, you may do things that people do not like. But if you are confident that it is the right thing, then you go forward. Now, if you recognize that you have made a mistake and some of the criticism are necessary, then you change course and admit publicly and otherwise that you were wrong. And it takes a big man to admit this. And sometimes people are reluctant to accept criticism and to admit when they make mistakes. And I believe little children do that, not big men. Big men accept responsibility for the errors. Big men accept responsibility to change it and to move on.
The upcoming convention, you are the outgoing leader. I guess that is what the news is going to say.
Yes.
Outgoing.
I will be.
With your stewardship, do you have any one in mind, or would you be endorsing on that day someone who you think?
Yes, I will. And Sheldon, I feel strongly about this. There are some who want me to just lie low in a situation like this. I can't. That is not in my DNA. Those who know me well know whether it's in cricket, whether it's in academic, whether in any other social life, and in case of politics, you would always know where Keith Mitchell stands. You would never be guessing where this man coming from. And therefore, having been 40 years in this business, having had over 14 years experience outside in academic worlds and lecturing, and also advising governments through international organizations in my field of mathematics and statistics, I learned one thing: always be truth to power. Always tell people exactly what you feel. And therefore there will be no doubt where you're coming from. So, after all that experience, I'm moving out of the leadership of the NNP. I feel I have a noble responsibility to say who I believe is the best person to take the party forward. And some people want me to lie low and to let anybody become leader. That cannot be me. I would not do this. So I'm very clear that as I told the members today, I'm not accepting the position of leadership of the party. I offer them to chair the party for certainly a year, and depends on what happens afterwards. And I'm endorsing former Minister Emilyn Pierre as the new leader of the new National Party. As you know, Selwyn, the guns have been turned on me. Attacks, all kinds of attacks. All the old stories about briefcase and cell plane and they come back. And then a new one that I joined with somebody to commit murder. I mean, that was sickening. The level of viciousness. But you know, Keith Mitchell, that's not moving me. If they expect me to change because of that vicious attack, they falling flat. You know? And I always tell them this: any human being that live their life based on what people say about them, knowing when they do something that is fundamentally correct, and because of people's selfishness, greed for power, unwillingness to accept that you are not in a position for the job, and somebody else differ with you, you have a right, but the person have a right. Just those who are supporting individuals That's their right. So what is about my right? What makes it different that everyone could do and support who they want, who they believe is the best? And I believe I have a responsibility because I've been there. I've done this, I've done that. And I feel that I have the fundamental responsibility to indicate who is the best. Now, if the party and the delegates don't accept and they vote for someone else, that's their choice. I am not going to be mad with the party, but I would have discharged my fundamental responsibility. You know why, Sheldon? Because years later, when the chips hit the down, it falls, and that person that gets in, and I did not provide some input, and they say, look, you sat there and look at your law. Now, I've given a clear indication. The party don't accept. They will never be able to blame me for what happens afterwards. So history will record that I did my part. And that's what life is all about. You did your part. Other people feel otherwise. That's okay. But as long as I discharge the responsibility, I can go to bed and sleep comfortably. And that's what it's all about. So I look forward, and I'm pretty confident that the party will choose Emilyn Pierre as its next leader. And it's good for women power. You know, we have had power all the time. Men every year in government. It's more men and more men. You know, it is time to see a woman for the first time emerging as Prime Minister of this country. I think it's good for the country. It's revolutionary. But I think a woman with a strong head who understands people and who cares deeply about people. And I think that is one of the fundamental characteristics of the New National Party. Love for people, care for people, empathy for people. And I think she identifies with this, and therefore I'm proud to lend my full support.
NNP in the next 50 years, your vision. How do you want to see the NNP and this Grenada in the next 50 years?
Selwyn, as you can see, the world is changing very dramatically with technology that is guiding almost everything now. You know, when I was at Howard University, I was teaching student masters in operation research. I was teaching computer science for undergraduates and so on, and of course mathematics and statistics at graduate level. But where are we today with this? Think I could go back on and start doing the same way? No, this thing has changed, you know, dramatically. So the society has to modernize as much as possible. And you know, I'm so pleased to see the level of young people that are getting involved. We are going out, they're coming in. It's their future, not ours. And therefore, I'm proud to see the amount of young people. There's a group of young people associated with the New National Party who are now taking initiative and organizing the youths around the country and providing vision of hope for programs and development that can take the country into the next period. You mentioned the next 50 years. And you recall when I sat there in the stage with former Prime Minister Chastity of St. Lucia, who is likely to be again the Prime Minister in St. Lucia next general election, after the next general election, and Prime Minister Holness, who's also facing re-election next year. I turned while I was speaking to the stage and I asked the people outside of the two leaders there, look at the team. What an array of young, bright people coming forward in the New National Party. In fact, I said, like a father, I feel these children are ready. And I felt so good to be able to say this, because it makes you feel proud that your job was well done, because that's what leaders have to do. Anything you are in, you must prepare that organization for the future. And don't hold on to the point that the thing deteriorates in front of your eyes, and that you are held responsible for not giving it new birth, new life. I feel proud that I'm doing precisely this. And that's why I tell people, do not worry about the fact that I'm not going to be continuous leader. I will continue to do my part to guide and provide support to the leadership of the party going forward.
Your expectation for smooth convention, your expectation for a successful convention?
I expect to be successful and I expect to be smooth. And I see no reason why we should do anything else, because that's the party. This is democracy. People have a right to have their names at different positions. Even as I say, I'm interested in the chairmanship of the party. You never know, someone might decide they wanted to, and they have a right. And I would let my name be put forward accordingly. So I'm not worried at all. Kind of speculation about there will be chaos and nonsense, absolute nonsense. Chaos with what? What are you going to fight? If the people are making decisions? So what are you going to be disagreeing with that? No. So I'm confident that we'll come out of this convention a united force. Remember, Selwyn, I'm sure you were wrong. We had contention in the party before, when we had A team and a B team. When the convention came, the results came out, and this one they were defined, because we didn't define it. By the A team, they defined us as the B team. We won. There were some noises after the convention, but it does settle. And we went forward, and at that time we only had 2 seats in government. We won 6 seats in the last election. So we're in a much stronger position we were then. So whatever little noise that exists now, I expect that will fall flat after the next general election, because the people would have spoken, and the new leadership will take the road. And I'll be right there with the new leadership. And many of the key members like Gregory Boyne and other persons like Sister Clarice Modeste and Yolan Bain, and all of us will be in that team, holding the hands of the youth and younger people, guiding the party going forward. And that's our role and responsibility. Some of the members I mentioned may run, but not all of us will not be running in the general elections. But our role is there to help to guide and you get the young people go forward, helping the country to move to the new stage.
Doc, I wish I could stay here all day speaking with you, because that level of experience there, I am at least absorbing a lot of leadership qualities. And I say this from the background that I actually grew up with the People's National Party, People's National Movement in Trinidad.
Yes.
Because I had an uncle from Grenada who was a councillor in Arima.
Eric
Williams. A stalwart leader. As a matter of fact, he died in office,
Yes.
And I know that you had been making the pronouncements time and time again that you wouldn't want to
No.
be in that position.
And thank God has given me that wisdom and understanding. Yes.
So it would be nice.
There's life outside of politics, direct representation.
Yes.
There is life on, and I'm at peace. I was disappointed, as I told at the beginning, that we did not win the election I expected to win. It's a shock defeat. And I admitted that, and I would have loved to give up leadership of the country and the party while in government. But like anything else, Selvin, some things you wish in life. My life has been one of reasonable success. Successful one. So a lot of things that I wanted, I got. So if something I want I didn't get, how could I have a problem? And if someone vote for you for 40 years and give you endorsement, moving from 60% support in the constituency to 91% in 99, and the last election over 80%, what more do you want?
Talking about an accomplished hero?
I don't know. I mean, how could I be unhappy? I mean, I something has to be wrong with my head to be unhappy. So I'm very happy that where I'm at, and I'm very happy to see the talent that's coming forward in the New National Party. And I want to tell the country, you will be proud of the team and the NMPs that are assembling to go forward and that we will be there to guide and support them as they continue to help the country to move forward.
As we round up, I remember you making mention of your memoirs.
Yes, I'm
documenting.
a few months I have not done much work on it, but we have had about 16 chapters already. We're moving forward. It's a lot. So and of course, don't forget the last chapter has not been written. So we still have work to do. But we move. I feel I owe it to the people. It's a sad thing. So when you look forward, so much has been done in this country. Eric Gary's life, he should have documented it. He did nothing, unfortunately. So everything that's written about Eric, somebody writing about him. Howard Blaze didn't write anything, unfortunately. And a lot of our leaders have passed on and certainly have not left anything in their own words and ideas and so on. And I'm saying that's unfortunate, and I do not want to be in that category of persons. I feel that I must document, because my experience growing up in the poverty in Brazil and Happy Hill area must be shown, that the young people realize that some of them, when they see me, they believe that I was up there from since I was born. And I have to tell them, when I tell them stories about what I went through, some of them say, Doc, Tim, tell us another Tim. I say, yeah, sound like Tim for you. It wasn't Tim for me when I was growing up. So I feel I owe it to them. So I'm hoping I could, sometime early next year, to complete that memoir, and maybe the last chapter will have to come after I complete my service in as a representative and by implication the government of the country.
Doc, thank you very much, and nice talking to you. And this wouldn't be the last. I would be here again.
Cannot be so.
I would always
so
be.
Welcome again,
Yes.
and I thank you for your presence here this evening and for the discourse that we had an opportunity to share.
Don't mention it.
Thank you.
Show them. Show them. Show them. Show them. I said we only move. Ain't nobody can stop us now. They can't stop us. We only move. Ain't nobody can stop us now. No way. We only move. Ain't nobody can stop us now. Hey, hey. We only move. Ain't nobody can stop us now.
Complete that memoir, and maybe the last chapter will have to come after I complete my service in as a representative and by implication the government of the country.
Doc, thank you very much, and nice talking to you. And this wouldn't be the last. I would be here again.
This one dedicated to all Grenadans. Yeah, man. Wave your hands. Hey, hey. NNB, we marching on to victory. NNB, we marching on to victory.
Yeah, we're not sticking tonight. Good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. We just had a wonderful interview with Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell.
Marching on to victory.
And Dr. Mitchell has officially announced that he will not be seeking re-election as the political leader of the new National Party. He instead will be seeking the position of chairman. Nice, yeah.
Victory. Me and me neighbor. Yes, man. In the house together. All right.
And we at Talking Points, first of all, want to thank Dr. Mitchell for his many unbroken years of service to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, and indeed the new National Party as an organization.
Tell it all about. We shall have the victory.
And the many things that he has done for this country, for this party, and for many of us as individuals. Yeah.
We are seeing better days. Yes, sir. Grenadians will decide, and then give us pride, so we ain't gonna make no change.
Not gonna move to calls and so yet. I want to do another interview in a little while. Yeah.
We are seeing better days. Yes, my friend. Grenadians will decide, and then give us pride, so we ain't gonna make no
So again, for those of you just joining us, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will not be seeking re-election as the political leader of the New National Party, which means for the first time in roughly about 35 years, the New National Party will be having a new leader. Yeah.
We shall have the victory. We must win.
Our third leader, yeah? Unlike other political parties which change 3 leaders in about 3 years,
Dr. Mitchell,
in fact 4 in about 3 years, yeah.
Dr. Mitchell,
The New National Party has always been a party of stability, yeah?
marching on to victory.
Every now and again, people, they think, bam, 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 yeah, and they say, okay, we giving Doc a rest, and you give him a rest, and then right after they came back to the New National Party, and the steadfast hand of Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell, yeah?
Victory.
Has always taken the New National Party organization to bring stability to Grenada, whether it's stability to the economy, whether it's stability to a particular sector, whether it's stability to just generally the people of Grenada. It has always taken the New National Party. After the events of 1983, who came in to create the stability and to stabilize Grenada? The New National Party. And each time an NDC government comes in and they do nonsense, it is a New National Party that has to come in and stabilize things, yeah? Nah, we ain't going on that one yet, brother. We ain't going on that one yet. Let me touch this one instead, yeah? Good night to each and every one of you. Those of you joining us on the YouTube. Those of you joining us on the Facebook.
Strong. Don't stop the progress.
Yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Talking Points is on. I think some people think that it was just the interview and they start to drop off. Yeah, let them know Talking Points is on. No, we're not going to the phone lines.
Strong. Don't stop the progress. We moving on. The house solid and the pillar strong. Don't stop the progress. Take a good look around.
Believe me, when the history of Grenada is written, the name Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will always be up top there, yeah. In my mind, a living hero, eh?
Yes. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. 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 Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
Yeah, so I'll be joined by a guest in a short. Just making sure everything is working properly, yeah.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
Yeah, I don't want to take the calls yet. Let me do another, yeah, and then we'll take calls. I know some of you want to call in, but we'll take it, yeah?
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress.
So again, good night to all of you who are listening via We Noise Radio.
Don't stop it. Don't stop.
All of the listeners via the Talking Points website. Good night to you, Durity.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
So remember, Sunday is Convention Day. We're heading to the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School
Don't stop it.
out there in Telescope St. Andrew.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress.
Delegates, get ready.
Don't stop the progress.
Those of you who will be observing, get yourselves ready.
Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
It's going to be a historic one, eh?
Don't stop it. The house solid and the pillars strong.
Let them know.
Don't stop the progress. We moving on. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress.
Yeah, we know that, you know. Yeah, we ain't joking when we say them kind of thing, you know.
The house solid.
And that is what they're afraid. They're afraid of solid house, eh?
Don't stop the progress. We moving on.
Some of them having nightmares.
And the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress.
Because they know come Monday, it's a united and stronger new national party they're meeting, eh?
Strong. Don't stop the progress. We moving on. The house solid and the pillars strong. Don't stop the progress. Take a good look around.
Let's sing the song now. Yeah, so at 9, I'm going to be bringing on a guest, yeah?
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress.
Just making sure that you all, yeah, see some people are dropped off because they thought they thought that was it for tonight. No.
Don't stop it.
I'm telling you.
Stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress.
Yeah, after I do my interview, I'll take calls, yeah?
Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
Because I know some of you want to send your thanks to Dr. Mitchell for all that he has done. And we will give you that opportunity before I leave the studio. But just not quite yet. I don't want to tie up the phone lines because I have to do an interview in a short while there.
Don't stop the progress.
So today, Dr. Mitchell informed the executive of the New National Party that he will not be seeking re-election as the political leader of the party. He will still be lending his guidance to the party, most likely in the position of chairman, yeah?
Don't stop it. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
Yeah, they tell me no sticking tonight, right? Nice. Yeah. The video ain't sticking, everything working proper. Nice. The audio is working properly.
Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop the progress. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Don't stop it.
And we will have a broadcast on Sunday. Part of the open session will be broadcast on Sunday. So look forward to that one.
Don't stop the progress.
So you don't have to call me to ask me if we're broadcasting on Sunday. And folks, there's no need to call. Let me explain something to you all. When we say subscribe, you go to the YouTube and you subscribe. Once we go live, you will be notified. Once you subscribe and you click that icon, the button, the bell button that says all, once we go, so you don't have to call and try to find me, because at times I can't answer. Yeah? According to what I'm doing or where I am at the point in time, many times I can't answer. And I find myself on days like Sunday with 30, 40, as much as 50 people trying to reach me to ask, are you going live? Are you going live? There is no necessity to ask if we're going live. Once we're going live, and I'm telling you now that we will be going live during the open session, not, the closed session, you don't ever go live during that, but we will be going live during the open session, and you will be notified. You don't have to ask for a link. Once we go live, you'll go onto YouTube, you'll see it. You go onto Facebook, you will see it. Once we go live, it will be there. All right? Nice. So there's no need to call, Sheldon, are you going live? Are you going live? No. There's no necessity to call for that. Because at times I'm so tied up when persons call and I don't get the opportunity to really answer, and so I'm letting you all know now, yeah?
St. George's to St. Andrews, St. Patrick's to St. David.
So again, we will be going live on Sunday from the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School, the convention of the New National Party. our convention in our 40th year of existence, yeah? So we will be going live. So once you subscribe to the YouTube page, you click that subscribe button, or you already subscribed, and you click that button that says, when you click on the subscribe, you might see something come up with all somewhere, right? Just click on all, and anytime we go live, your phone, you'll actually see a message comes up that Talking Points has gone live, and so. Also, folks, you all need to make sure that the Lewi Hear from Doc page, that you all go there and that you all subscribe to that page as well. So it's LEWWE, Lewi Hear from Doc. That's the name of the page on YouTube. Go there and you can sign in, right? You can subscribe to that page as well. So when a new upload takes place, you'll immediately get a notification on your phone. When you tap it, it will take you straight to whatever has been loaded. The same with Talking Points. You get a notification, Talking Points is, just click on it, and it takes you straight to that. So I'm just holding pattern for my guests who should be joining us shortly.
Everything they try, and every time they fail, they say we send a spy, but just to put a boy in jail. But then be higher than I. We don't mix up in a dance. Tell them boys, them around.
If I do.
And the P is standing on the rock. Hey, we're on the
Good night to you, my brother.
NMP on the road. NMP guide.
So, folks, as I said, I'll give you all the opportunity to call, but after I have done my interview and I'm still waiting.
NMP on the road. NMP guide. We on the road. Yeah. Tell them. If we fight, tell them be careful, cause the house is in light. The house is in order. So tell your neighbor, brother, sister, and father, the house is.
Yeah, so let me see if I'm hearing my guests. I think I just saw them signing, so let me make sure that I am hearing my guests. Hello, good night. Hello, good night. And I don't think the guest is hearing me. Let me make sure that I didn't do something wrong there. Yeah, my audio is open. Guest, I am not hearing you. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted.
Okay, good night. Good night to you.
Good night to you, the Honorable Emilyn Pierre. How are you doing tonight?
I am good, thank you. God is good. I'm always good.
Yeah.
Good night. Special good night to all of your guests, your listeners, your viewers, everyone. Good night. Good night. That song brought back so much memories.
That was a campaign. So, a couple questions for you tonight. And the first one, I know that there was an executive meeting of the new National Party today, and a very historic, and not just in the context of Grenada, but regionally and internationally, announcement was made that after 35 years as the political leader of the new National Party, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell told the executive of the party today, of which you are part of, that he was stepping down as the leader and not seeking re-election. Well, not stepping down, because posts are made vacant on Sunday, but that he would not be seeking re-election as the political leader of the new National Party. What was that like at the executive? I know you can always say what takes place in the executive, but I could ask you that one. How was the mood at the executive? How did that play out?
Yes, so the meeting today, I would say that was probably the highlight of the meeting, the political leader's statement. And when I say highlight, I experienced something in the executive meeting that I never experienced for the entire period that I served in the party as an executive member. Dr. Mitchell usually would give his political leader's statement at the end of every executive meeting, but this one was definitely one with an absolute difference. Very touching, very emotional. I can say to you that I witnessed firsthand persons actually crying in that meeting, executive members, and I saw both men and women expressing very, very strong emotions. One person literally had to go out to get tissue for one of the persons who was sitting very, very close to me. So I'm saying that to say it was a very touching moment. And you said it earlier, Dr. Mitchell served in this position for some 35 years. And it ought to be a very impacting moment. It ought to be a very special moment. It can't be an ordinary moment for him to make a statement like this. And so while I believe Dr. Mitchell would have shared his intention with several persons in that room, I believe hearing him stated this evening was something totally, absolutely different. And I think, what was even more emotional was when he said this will be the last executive in which I'll be addressing you as political leader of the New National Party. These are relationships that go back, in some cases, almost 35 years. And so there's absolutely no doubt about the level of respect, the level of camaraderie, the admiration that people have for a leader. And I don't think the rank and file of our party would feel any different. As a matter of fact, I'm speaking to you about this, sharing the experience, and I'm still feeling emotional about it. So it's no easy time for us as an organization. People, say what they feel and they express themselves, but I'm telling you that the majority of persons in this party have a very deep sense of appreciation for the service of Dr. Mitchell, what he has contributed, the way he has dedicated his entire life to this. Sometimes people describe him as eat and drink and breathe politics, So obviously, I'm sure this is not an easy time for him. And it's absolutely not an easy time for us, those who have worked closely with him. And while he continued to say and insist, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be, working along with all of you, I'm going to be there, I'm not going anywhere. He keeps saying that, you cannot help but feel a sense of loss. And I think it's just the kind of impact that he has made in the years that he has served in this position.
Yes, indeed. Take us back a bit. Your early encounters with Dr. Mitchell, your first interactions with him. Take us a bit back to when that was and how it was.
So for me, it was as a young person, and I've always admired his passion for youth. I came into the party at a period where the government took a fundamental position as it relates to its wanting to invest more in young people. And you're quite familiar with that period of time. I believe for many Caribbean countries, they looked on at what Grenada was venturing into. It was really a period where youth participation and youth empowerment were terms that you were getting familiar with coming from the international level. At the Caribbean level, there was something happening there, particularly through the Caribbean, the Commonwealth Youth Program in the Caribbean, where government were being encouraged, to make young people the center of your national sustainable plan, to get young people more involved, agents of change, people talking about not getting young people to be tokenism, not taking them for granted, but actually involving them in the process of national development. And it was around that time that I got involved with the New National Party through the government. And I recall very, very clearly when I first had a conversation with Dr. Mitchell. He invited me to a meeting, and that invitation was extended 2 times thereafter in very short succession. And On all three occasions, I said to myself, I am trying to determine what was the objective of the meeting. The next meeting I had with him, he said, I'm sure you must be a bit confused as to why I invited you to these meetings, one after the other. But I wanted to have a feel as to the way that you were thinking. He said, I observed that you spoke a lot about young people. You obviously have a passion for young people. And then he threw it. He said, because of that passion, and I couldn't deny that. He said, because of that passion, I would like you to represent young people in the parliament. No, that part was pretty easy to think about advocating for you. I mean, that was me, right? So it was very easy to identify with that request. But then I started thinking about the consequences of that decision, because it meant that I had to resign from my permanent job in the public service. But the way that Dr. Mitchell made the request, you literally was feeling guilty to say no. I mean, how could you say no to something that you've been advocating for, something that you've been pushing for, and now you get an opportunity to literally get more involved? How do you say no? And that is one of the things about Dr. Mitchell is very difficult for him to pitch something like that, and for you to say, no, I'm not interested. So I think he got me there in a corner where I just had to say, youth development, advocating for young people, opportunity to do so, I can't say no. And the truth is, I went home, discussed it with my husband, and decided, you know what, I would take the risk. And I called it a risk then because at that point, there was, I remember very clearly, an individual commenting on the election results, and he said, NMP is hanging on a thread.
I think I've got that video somewhere. I must find it. Yeah.
Yes. So for me as a young person, I was about 26, 27 years, you were a little bit confused, what is this going to look like in the next few months? Because you literally felt that the government was going to fall apart in a few months because somebody probably would get the court to rule in a particular direction. But I decided, this is my heart, this is my passion. Whatever the outcome of this, I am going to build again, start all over again. That was my thinking, but I'm going to say yes to this. And I have to say this, working with Dr. Mitchell over the last 20 years, I first of all want to publicly express my appreciation for the opportunity that he provided to myself and so many other young people that I know would have received opportunities to serve and to help to build communities, to help to build a country. And I feel very, very strongly about this, Sheldon, because sometimes, when you look at people who come from very poor background and you look at people who probably never would have an opportunity if somebody doesn't give them that opportunity, I have to say this, the New National Party has been good to me and to so many other young people. Not everybody got an opportunity to be in parliament and to serve at that level, but I'm telling you, there are so many young people who probably got even more than that. Scholarship opportunities to travel overseas, some never came back, but some came back and are able to contribute so directly to the development of this country. So sometimes when you listen to people speak about, NNP kept people poor and NNP has done nothing to help people out of poverty, I mean, these people just cannot be serious, because there are so many doctors and nurses and teachers and lawyers and business people. You look around the society over the last 20, 30 years, you look at our society and the transformation, the way that people and their lives have been changed. The question is, if many of them did not have an opportunity, would this ever happen? I had a mother who broke down. She came to say thank you. And she said to me, had it not been for NNP, her daughter would have never been able to attend medical school. Hundreds of thousands of dollars was the cost of that scholarship. And she said there is absolutely no way, except there was a miracle, that they would have ever thought of having one of their children actually turn out to be a doctor. right? And so these are the kind of opportunities that were provided under the leadership of Dr. Mitchell. And you know, he has always been very passionate about youth and youth development opportunity, particularly. People don't like to hear when he speaks about the poor and the vulnerable. And maybe there's another way to define them. There are probably different ways to define them. But this is the heart of our party, that we're a party for everybody, but we also want to take special care and special interest in those who are less fortunate, those who need extra support. And if you ask me to define Dr. Mitchell and the years that I've worked with him, I would define him as a visionary leader, a transformational leader, but most importantly, I would say somebody who has a heart for people. I've looked at Dr. Mitchell over the years, the sacrifices he has made for people, the way that he has served people, the way that he has have put people over himself, above himself in service and humility. And you know, one thing, I mean, I don't want to be going on that question, but it's difficult. It's difficult, you know. I remember engaging a police officer who came for a regional activity. It was some exchange program with the police within the Caribbean. And Dr. Mitchell showed up at the activity. I have a sense that you were actually at that activity as well. Dr. Mitchell showed up there. And the officer was saying to me, he cannot believe that that is the Prime Minister.
I remember.
That was his response. I cannot believe that is the Prime Minister. The way that he walked in comfortably, the way he engaged with people, the way that he was just so humble about his position. And, you know, if it's one thing, I'll try to end on this. If it's one thing I've admired about Dr. Mitchell, his humility, his love for people, and I would say the way that he's able to engage with people at all levels. So when he's with the man on the ground, he's on the block and he's playing domino, you would never believe that is the same man who's engaging the president of America. Or, you know, he is just able to fit comfortably at any level with any group of people. And I believe there is just so much that Dr. Mitchell has taught us over these years, as not just people who have worked closely with him, but as a society. I believe there's so much lessons that we can draw from his own leadership.
I think the big question a lot of folks may want to know the answer to. Dr. Mitchell a while ago indicated his full support for yourself as becoming the new political leader of the new National Party. How do you feel about that? How does that have you feeling right now that Dr. Mitchell has thrown his full support behind you?
The truth is, and let me just speak back to the actual announcement. So during the announcement, I was actually completing a document that had a very tight deadline, an assignment I was doing on behalf of the party. And I was actually happy that I was a bit distracted by that at the time, because it was a very emotional situation, him announcing that he was not going to be going back up for leadership, and then following that to say that he would endorse me as the next leader of the party. If you ask me now how I feel right now that I'm not distracted, extremely humbled, humbled that Dr. Mitchell has actually demonstrated the confidence, because you must have some measure of confidence to make an announcement like that. Extremely humbled, but also very grateful. Grateful to God for this opportunity, that I'm speaking about his confidence in me, that he would announce something of that nature publicly. And in addition to that, grateful that I have had the experience of working closely with him and all my other colleagues, that at this point, I am able to offer myself for this position. And I am very, very confident that the supporters of the New National Party, the delegates who would be attending the convention on Sunday, having seen my work over the years, having worked along with me in so many different ways, And knowing what my heart is as it relates to this party and the leadership of this party, I believe, Sheldon, that the feeling is one that I'm ready to serve at another level. And I'm extremely excited about that, particularly, and I like to use the words hitting the ground running, engaging, you know my style of leadership, engaging in every constituency. So there's an excitement, you know, the young people who are coming forward, wanting to get involved. There's an excitement of how do you inspire? How do you motivate? How do you engage them? But at the same time, we have so many people in the party with great experience, competence. So how do you pull all of that together? I believe that there are some exciting days ahead for the New National Party. I believe the best days for the New National Party are ahead of us. And so it's difficult to find one emotion to describe how I feel. I would say excited, I'm humbled, I'm thankful, and I can go on and on how I feel.
Well, on and on until 10. But another question here is, and you started speaking on it a short while ago, and it's your expectations and how do you see the immediate, medium-term, and long-term future of the New National Party? You've put yourself forward for leadership of the party. You have been through the screening process successfully and so on. You're going forward as one of two candidates seeking the leadership of the party on Sunday. What are your expectations for the New National Party in the immediate, medium term, and the long term?
So you would realize a couple days ago that I would have launched what I call a 5-point agenda. And every leader would want to have a vision and you would want to have an agenda. And so that agenda is what I believe would guide that immediate period going forward. I believe very much in the membership of this party, building the membership of the party, empowering our people, the supporters and members of the New National Party, expanding the base of the party. I believe this is going to be a revolution as it relates to our people and what they can do to help build the party and to help build our country. Because ultimately, as a party, we are working towards the goal of providing the best leadership for our country. So it's going to be, in my opinion, a very detailed process of working with people. And I'm speaking about every single constituency of this country, getting our supporters, getting our members, inviting and encouraging people to come on board. There are so many people who would say to you as you go around, we were never members of NNP. We never supported NNP, but we want to do so now. How can we get involved? So it's about how do you engage people at all levels, give people that opportunity. How can we work together to strengthen the party? So empowering members, expanding the base, but also the core values and the principles of the party. We've heard a lot about that in the last few days, in the last few weeks, and the threat that is currently presented as it relates to that. And so we want to make sure that we protect, we uphold the values, the core values, the principles of the party. And so we must put structures in place, strengthen existing structures to ensure that that happens. But as a critical part of that is education. How are we ensuring that all of our members are knowledgeable? How do we put the systems in place so that you don't come in and 10 years after you figure out, oh my God, they are center-right. you probably never thought of it before. So how do we put the right systems in place to ensure that when you join this party, you truly understand what you're getting involved in, right? And you join this party, you understand that you're coming into an organization that already have its own principles, its own values, and that you're coming in to work with that, right? And build upon that. The other area that is critical, I believe, is the organizational structure and systems. And if you're going to improve on what you have, and Dr. Mitchell says it clearly, and to me, that's one of the things I admire about Dr. Mitchell as well. Sometimes leaders who do extremely well who would have made significant contribution. They've excelled in so many ways. And I would be one who would agree. You know, it would be very difficult to fit into the shoes of Dr. Mitchell. I mean, after 35 years, this is not just stepping into and walking along, right? But I'm saying this to say that our systems, our structures, we have to improve on those. And I was making that point to make the other point that what I admire about him, this is not a leader who feels, okay, I've done such a great job and nothing better can be done. I've heard him make the challenge that the young people who are rising up, the young people who are coming forward, they are going to help to improve on what he has built on. We inherit a solid foundation. We've inherited a solid foundation. Those persons who are going to form that new executive of the party, the young people who are getting involved, and I do hope that people appreciate the sacrifices that were made over the years. The founding fathers, those who have been part of this journey, Dr. Mitchell, Brother Bowen, and all of those who have made so much sacrifices in the vineyard. As younger persons, we have to be so appreciative of what we are inheriting. And so we owe it to the party. We owe it to the founding fathers. We owe it to Dr. Mitchell and Brother Bowen and others to build upon and to improve what they have created. And so one of the things I believe very much is that we have to capitalize on technology. So how do we use technology? And yourself as somebody who is very tech savvy, how do we use technology to improve our processes, to improve our systems and our structures? And that, I believe, the whole modernization of our operation is going to be also critical to our success in the next general election. So people have to get on board. I remember when we were introducing teachers to their laptops, some people said, well, I never used a laptop before. Well, I never even turned on a computer. So you're going to face challenges. But how do you get people to buy into that vision and to understand that change is necessary? Change is necessary. And we have been hearing Dr. Mitchell week after week after week, challenging the party. I've heard him describe it as taking it to the next level. And that is what leadership is about. That as you move on, you want those who come after you. There's a song that says, those who come after would find me faithful. Right? To know that we are pushing you, we are encouraging you to be even better than we were. And that I want to just, again, applaud in his own leadership. The issue of financial stability, the success of the party would also be determined by its ability to generate revenue, to raise revenue, to stabilize our financial situation. Because as you modernize, as you expand, as you improve, that would be absolutely necessary. So we have to look at traditional income generating sources and options that we have. But we also have to be innovative. We have to be creative. And that is going to be another pillar that is going to be critical as it relates to the way forward. And of course, building the party, the unity. Some persons I know are concerned about the unity of the party. I don't share a lot of the concerns expressed. I believe our people understand what is most important. And what is most important is the survival of this organization, because this organization is extremely critical to the future of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. So people are first concerned about ensuring that we stay together for the purpose of being an asset to the development of this country. And so when you understand your party is bigger than the individual, when you understand that your country is even bigger than your party, then you're able to now put aside selfish little issues or egos or intention, ambitions, whatever they are, because you are now able to look at the bigger picture. So it is about how do you pull all of your people together to address the critical issues, to work on building. So Sheldon, on Sunday, should I emerge leader of the new National Party, we are going to be in every constituency. We are going to be on the ground, strengthening our current structure, preparing ourselves for the next general election. But very important in the process, our people must be at the forefront. Our people must be at the center. Our people must be critical in this process. And that is why empowering our membership, expanding our membership base, pulling the resources, the talents, the skills of everyone, everybody would have a critical role that they have to play. And so I'm excited, extremely excited, looking forward to this. And I do hope that on Sunday, every person would just put the energies together and move forward for Grenada's sake. So I'm excited about Sunday and the results of the elections.
Now, one of the things I think people need to recognize with members of the New National Party is that we love passionately. So if we love a Emilyn Pierre, we love her passionately. We love a Peter David, a Dr. Mitchell, we love them passionately. And we are going to defend them passionately. And we are going to promote them passionately. So if you're not in our realm and you don't see how we are passionate, you won't understand some of the banter that you may hear going back and forth within the organization right now, because I often use the term to individuals that at the end of the day, the main thing is all of we are NNP. And we have a job to rescue this country. Now, one of the things that came up during this week was someone was speaking about your obviously the person hasn't been listening to you recently, and so how are the doctoral studies going?
So I would have had to put that on pause a bit in preparation for other things. But Sheldon, I'm getting ready to get into the actual research part of it. That's what I'm looking forward to. And of course, to ultimately complete that process. But the area of specialization continues to be leadership, as I did with my master's. And so it's an area that I'm always excited about.
Now, I just wanted to make sure that some people understand that you are presently pursuing your doctoral studies. In other words, you will soon be Dr. Emilyn Pierre. And
Well,
so
the title really doesn't matter.
but
For
the
me, it's an
ability,
area of study that I feel passionate about, and I had absolutely no intention of going that far. I gave the story some time ago. I won't go into it, of what motivated me to go beyond. But for me, education is not about it has absolutely nothing to do with title and certification. For me, what drives me is how do you translate what you would have learned, the knowledge, into practice? How do you take what's applicable that you can actually, and for me, that is what is most important. So the name and title doesn't have to change at all. There's a more important something in there.
and your views on females in leadership positions. And I myself have no problem with females in leadership position. And if you look through the Caribbean, Turks and Caicos, you had Charlene. I'm trying to remember her surname, it's slipping me. You had Charlene was a premier in Turks and Caicos Islands. In Dominica, you had Dame Eugenia Charles. In Jamaica, you had Portia Simpson Miller. In Barbados, right now, you have Mia Motley. In Trinidad, you've had Kamala Persad Besessa. Down in Guyana, for a period of time, I believe they had Janet Jagan. And even if you look worldwide, you've had Margaret Thatcher. You've had Angela Merkel. You've had so many leaders that have emerged and have been very strong leaders. You can't talk about Angela Merkel or Mia Motley and not say that these have been, or Eugenia Charles, and say that these have not been strong leaders. Your view on women in leadership, because we know the view of Dr. Mitchell. Grenada has been ranked constantly under New National Party administrations for having the highest percentage, within the top three, highest percentage of females in leadership positions. Your personal views on females in leadership positions.
So I'll try to remember the three things that popped out when you raised this. So number one, we were just in 2022 within the top 10 in the world as it relates to women representation at the highest level of the parliament. Now, Dr. Mitchell has always been recognized internationally, regionally, for the way that he has respected the role that women can play in national development. And some people are still struggling struggling with that level of maturity. But what I thought about immediately is that you went very far. You went regionally and you went internationally. I would start with our homes, right? Now, you look at how women have led successfully homes where women did it on their own with absolutely no help. And we may wonder, well, is this leadership? Of course it is. The women who have to juggle to make ends meet, the women who have to rush to make a dollar and come back and to take care of the children and take care of the home. So leadership, when I view women in leadership, I don't just look at the national level. I look at even those basic levels where you look at a woman managing a home, leading a home by herself without support, and you wonder, how did she make it? And how did she manage to have these children now turning back to help her because they have been so successful, right? So I take it down to the grassroots level. That's where I start. And it's because of many of these women, we have the kind of communities that we have in many cases, that their children have been able to come back and to make that contribution to our society. So when you speak about the hospitals and you think of doctors and nurses, many of them came from even single parent families, right? And so the role that women have played across the board, not just at the national level, one cannot evade the fact that women have continuously been leading and making valuable contributions in our society. But when you speak of the public service, for example, you look at the number of women who serve in leadership position, whether as permanent secretaries, as managers, not just in the public service, the private sector. And I cannot see what is it that is significantly different when it comes to leadership between a male and a female. I believe it boils down to love for people. So not the sex, not the gender at all. I think it boils down to love for people. I think it boils down to competence. I think it boils down to ability to manage. And most importantly, I believe at the end of the day, it is about the person who is best suited for the position. That is what it boils down to, not whether they're male or female. In leadership, I don't believe that is the significant factor. As a matter of fact, some months ago, I had the opportunity to sit with Prime Minister Mia Motley. And in conversation, I was expressing the same view as you did as it relates to this particular subject. And I admire females, women, who would beat the odd, who would prove people wrong, who would be able to look back and say, oh, they thought I couldn't make it. They thought I couldn't do it because I'm a woman, but I am able to do that. But I believe that women have a role to embrace men, to embrace boys, to embrace girls. And I believe women are strategically positioned, best able, the nurturers, the mothers, the one who would have been bearing these people from birth, right? I believe women are well placed to bring men together. As a matter of fact, who takes better care of a man than a woman? I mean, just think about it. So I have absolutely no concern about that particular issue. There might be some measure of anxiety, there might be some measure of fear with a very small percentage of men. But I just want to say this. I mean, think back of your mother, for example, and it helps you to get over the fact that women in leadership positions such as this, I believe, have a very critical role to play, not just in representing other women, because I believe who best represent the views, the challenges, the issues faced by women as a woman than a woman herself. But on the flip side of that, I believe women can better take care of women and men than men can. And I mean, I'm making fun out of it, but seriously, Sheldon, I don't think it's an issue. But I just want to give the assurance to every man that might be listening. And funny enough, most of the people who come up to me to say, Ms. Pierre, you have my 100% support. Some of the people who feel strongest about this are men. And I have to say to you that I don't feel a sense of concern locally. I mean, talking here in Grenada, there might be parts of the world where that might be an issue, but locally, from my own interaction with men, matter of fact, I would draw one example. We were in Grenville doing a walk around the tongue in Grenville. Dr. Mitchell can attest to that. My other colleagues who were there could attest to that. And I can literally call the name of 2 young men in Grenville, in the Grenville area, who literally went up to Dr. Mitchell and say, Doc, it's time for a woman. It's time for a woman. We supported a woman. Give us a woman, right? So I don't think our society is trapped into that kind of thinking. And I believe we've gone past that stage a long time ago. We are far more modern than we might think we are.
And I'll say this, to some of the people saying that, I wonder, because some people are saying, well, a woman's place is in the home. Okay. If they have a major medical emergency, and I pray that you never do, but if they have a major medical emergency, they get down to the general hospital, and the surgeon is a woman, you're going to tell her place is in the home, or you're going to allow her to do the surgery that has to be done immediately. It's just quite nonsensical. It's whoever is qualified for the job, regardless of their agenda. I mean, it's just whoever is more qualified for the job and will do a good job. But I hear some people making some nonsensical statements, and it's why I wanted to address it tonight, that particular issue of
and if that
females
man
as
goes to the
leaders.
hospital, I guarantee you that he would prefer to have a woman take care of him.
No, he wants a male nurse to come.
But
Yeah.
Sheldon, that must be maybe a 1% of people. I don't think that's a major issue in Grenada at this time. We've matured. We've matured.
Yes, I believe we have matured past that stage. Honorable Pierre, as you hear the people of St. Andrew Southeast, I'm seeing them every now and again sending messages. Yeah, tell her, hello. Your people of St. Andrew Southeast, what do you have to say to them tonight? Less than 48 hours before you go forward for the leadership of the new National Party. What do you say to your loving constituents? I mean, from Mamacan to Crochet to Mount Fan, the people in Soubise and Marquis. And I always remember Soubise and Marquis because I guess some wicked oil down there in oil down competition for independence already. And the people in Telescope. What do you have to say to the people of your constituency as you are moving forward to take on this added responsibility at this time?
I would want to close, Sheldon, with that question because I'm looking at the time and I really want to give an opportunity to those persons who may want to call in as you had promised them when we started. So I will close with this question. I am here speaking to you tonight because of the people of St. Andrew Southeast, from Crochet in the south to Telescope in the north. It is because of these people that I'm actually having this conversation with you. So had it not been for them, I would not have been introduced tonight as MP Emilyn Pierre. So that MP title belonged to them, right? And had it not been for them, there would have been no possible question about myself emerging as leader of the new National Party. So I want to share this. Between the people of St. Andrew Southeast, I'm not going to say percentage of sharing. The people of St. Andrew Southeast and the remainder of the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, supporters of the new National Party. This is for you. This is actually for you on Sunday. I do this absolutely, totally, because my heart is for you. And I'm doing this because I believe genuinely that I can make a difference, not just in this party, but at the national level. I'm prepared to make the necessary sacrifices. I'm prepared to do all that is absolutely necessary to ensure that the new National Party has the success that it deserves to have, the success it needs to have at the upcoming polls, whenever they are next year, year after, so that we can continue the work that we've started for single mothers, for businessmen, for teachers, for nurses, public officers, police officers, the farmers and the fishermen, people from all walks of life, those who are advantaged and those who are disadvantaged, every person, it doesn't matter, the physically challenged, the mentally challenged, all people of all sectors and levels of our society. We continue to do what we do because of you. And I just want to close by saying tonight again, a very special thank you to Dr. Mitchell for his many years of service and sacrifices. This party would never be able to repay him for his sacrifices. This country would never be able to repay him. And to all those who have served with him, those who have supported him over the years, I want to just also join in saying to you a special thank you for the way that you've supported him over the years. And I look forward to Sunday, and I look forward to this new chapter that we're going to begin on Sunday.
Yes, indeed. Honorable Emilyn Pierre, we'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. And indeed, we wish you all the best on Sunday. Do have a wonderful night, and say good night to your family for me, and in particular Taff. The senior.
When I get home. When I get home.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Pierre. Have a good
God
one.
bless. Good night to all your listeners.
Yes, folks, we were speaking there with the Honorable Emilyn Pierre. Yes, just having a little chit-chat with her tonight in relation to various things. And let me state here clearly, because I know the question will come up. How come I had the Honorable Emilyn Pierre and I did not have the Honorable Peter David? We have approached the Honorable Peter David on no less than 5 occasions to appear on Talking Points from the year 2022 to the year 2024. On no less than 5 occasions, we've approached him to appear on Talking Points. He has never taken the opportunity when it was given to him. Yeah, he has never taken the opportunity to come on to Talking Points. I've seen him on other programs. I would think that at this hour, the ability is there to be able to come on, and yet still. So it is not that we have not approached the Honorable Peter David before to be on Talking Points. For whatever reason that probably he would be able to answer, he has never appeared on this program, not due to us not trying, but due to whatever on his end. All right, I just want to make that clear before people start about, oh, you had Honorable Emilyn Pierre on and you didn't have on Honorable Peter David. No, I put it into that one time. You know me, straightforward. 440-7377-347-329-3101. Yes, folks, let's take your calls. I'll have to stay an additional 5 minutes here.
This lady.
And we have a caller online. Oh boy, I'm not sure what is going on here. Hello?
Sheldon, good night.
Hey, good night, caller. How are you doing? Yes, you're live. Go right ahead. Hello? Hello? Yeah, no, we're here. We're hearing you. You go ahead. Okay, no. Caller, you'll have to call back then. Yeah. So 440-7377-347-329-3101. Those are the numbers to call and get onto the inside. And we go back to the phone lines. Hello, good night.
Hey, Sheldon, good night. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, brother. You go right ahead. You're live.
Yes, first of all, we want to say thank you to Dr. Mitchell for his years of human service to Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, and the wider Caribbean as a whole. A true statesman. And to everybody who was saying that he's going to die in office, he showed them the difference of what a true leader is. All right? The next thing for him, besides being chairman of the party, as he says, is for him to be the governor general. Because if he could have any,
he didn't say that.
wash your foot for governor general. Let's put the right man.
Dr. Mitchell never said anything about that. You just saying your thing. Dr. Mitchell never said nothing about that. You want to joke thing. All right, caller.
And congratulations to Sister Pierre on getting the nod. I mean, it stands for some woman power, and as you call it, only woman power you missed out was Indira Gandhi of India.
Yeah,
when you
Indira
were
Gandhi,
speaking
yeah.
with her.
Mm-hmm. Now, there are quite a few others. You know, New Zealand
And
has
there's
had
quite
a
a few
female prime
others.
minister.
But you know something? Listen, Grenada is on the right track
Benazir
with the
Bhutto.
right team. NNP all the way, bro. Green, green, green.
All right. Thank you so very much, my brother.
Enjoy the weekend, bro.
Thank you. You had Prime Minister Sirleaf in, I think it's Liberia. You have quite a few. Yes, a lot. After they had all the war and thing, they went and they get a lady to handle the scene. Yeah. 440-7377 347-329-3101. Remember, we've got a limited amount of time, so you can call, make your comment quick, brief, and we've got a call online. Hello, good night. Hello, good night, caller. You're live. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Rod.
Hey, sir. Go right ahead. You're live.
Yeah. I'm going ahead. I send in condolence to Emilyn boy.
You're sending... I haven't heard you.
Huh?
You're sending what to who?
Yeah, man. I like what you do.
No, you're listening to yourself in the background, and you're talking on the phone and listening to yourself in the background. Take off the volume in the background.
I like what you do with Emilyn. She
Right.
could be the next leader.
Okay.
I played with that.
Okay, my brother.
I played with that because it's bull that's speaking here.
Yes, man.
I in the party the same 40 years with Kate. And I love what you do, man.
All right.
I love that. I have a woman prime minister.
Yes, man. All right.
Man, to hell with Peter.
Not, I ain't saying to hell with anybody, man. We love passion. As I said earlier, we love passionately. No, I won't say that. We love passion. Enjoy the rest of your night, Bull. We love passionately within this party. And yeah, folks, just try to make it brief because other folks are trying to call. We want to give everybody an opportunity to have their say. So we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon. Good night, Talking Point.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
It's been a while.
Yes, but you know you had to make it quicker because...
Very quick,
yeah.
Very quick. It's refreshing to hear Honorable Emilyn Pierre, and I'm with you. That's all I'm saying. Good night, folks. Have a good night.
All right, thank you. As I said, NNPites, we love passionately, you know. Yeah, when you see us, we sweating, we out there, we love passionately. So I understand where it's coming from different corners and so on. Yeah, I understand where it comes from for that. 440-7377 Bullies, you know. 440-7377 347-329-3101. Let me say a special good night to my good friends up there in St. John. They say I doesn't shout them out. Good night to the people of St. John, no matter whether you're up in Cloget or you in Wind Power Park or you in, what do you call it, Mount Granby, wherever you are. We say a special good night to the people of St. John. They say I doesn't big them up again. I'm making sure I big you up tonight, right? 440-737-347-329-3101. Our time is limited. We have roughly about 10 minutes remaining. If folks are calling, I may extend it. If not, we're going to end at the 10 o'clock mark, all right? So you have an opportunity. You can call right about now, yeah? And I think we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, boss. Good night. How you do?
I am fine. You go right ahead, bro.
Yeah, man. I want to say a happy congratulations to Dr. Mitchell and thanks for human to Grenada, man. We're looking forward for him still. We need his support. We need him. And we love him. We love that man. That man do enough for this country. And to Honorable Emilyn Pierre, I want to say congratulations. And we're 100% behind you. Okay, we're looking forward to our convention on Sunday. We're 100% behind you. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, my brother. Thank you. 440-7377 347-329. Yeah, all right. We got a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hi, Sheldon. Good evening. Good evening to you and all the Talking Point family.
I find I know the voice.
Yes, of course.
Cut out go through, doc.
Yes, man. I just want to say how thrilled I was, how honored I was to have been a part of history today. and history being that of Dr. Mitchell's last executive meeting, where he made his last statement to the executive as the political leader, because he's going to, he already decided that he's not going to run again as political leader. And Sheldon, the emotion in the room was just palpable. You could just feel it. Nothing was fake. It was all genuine. It was just everybody's outpouring of emotional support for the years of sacrifice and service that this man has given to this party. He's not perfect, as none of us is, but we know the legacy that he has left for us. And I just want to again wish him all the best going forward. We know he's not letting us go. He's just moving from one phase to another, one position to another. But it was just a wonderful. You should see the emotions. You should see the tears. You should hear the voices today. I mean, it was so solemn, but yet it was very regal. And it was just an honor to be in that room today. And I just want to say, big up Dr. Mitchell and Sister Emilyn Pierre. You have some shoes to fit into, but we know that with our support and that united front of the new national party, you are going to make it, because we will be the wind beneath your wings. Thank you, Sheldon.
All right, my dear. Thank you. 440-7377. 440-7, no, I'll laugh at that. 440-7377-347-329-3101. Good night to you, Concord. Yes, Joan Henry. Good night to Concord. Before I get last one, I'm passing through Concord. Good night to Maran. You see, I had to say good night to everybody now, so good night to the Lance. Right, gun battle, everybody. Good night, right? Back street. Yeah, my home area, back street and thing. Yeah, good night to everybody in St. John. All right, and good night to the listeners overseas. And the thing is, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell has always provided dynamic, strategic, and stabilizing leadership to the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. He has always been a stabilizer, a steady hand in charge of the affairs of state of Grenada. He has always been strategic in how he moved Grenada forward, whether it be the economy, whether it be the areas within the economy like tourism, or even the citizenship by investment program to get that into Grenada, because there are countries that simply they won't get into it and so on. But utilizing that to the benefit of the Grenadian people, to the point of where you see all the major projects taking place in Grenada right now are funded through that program and have absolutely nothing to do with the administration in office now. So he has always been strategic. Yeah, he has been a stabilizing force. He has been strategic and he has been dynamic. He has been the one that has taken theory and put it into practice. So there was the idea of how do we engage the young people and give them opportunities so that when they apply for a job, that they can say, I have worked here, I have worked in this area for a period of time, I've trained in this area for a period of time. So he was able to change that theory into practical with the Imani program and the slew of other programs that you've seen that came under a new National Party administration. And in particular for an extended period of time, the youth agenda that was led and driven by one Emilyn Pierre, giving all your whole name, Emilyn Pierre. Because they took the theory and made it into the practical. It's not like the bunch of people here now that's only talking about we go do this and we go do that and we go do this and we go do and then take the things that NNP did and change the name. Or water it down and say that they've come with something new, to be able to point it and say, well, look, we come with something new. It was the individual that came in 1995 in Old Queen's Park in the rally. Alan Campbell, you go remember that one. Specky, you go remember that one. And said to the Grenadian people, we building a stadium for all you. We building a stadium in Queen's Park. We building a stadium for you all. And he built 2. Stadia. Built 2. Yeah? And you could say 3 if you want to count in the one in Carriacou. So that he has always taken the theoretical and made it into practical. That has been the new national party. Not just talking in theory and saying this go be nice, that go be nice, this go be nice. But being able to take it and make it into reality to the benefit of each and every Grenadian. Yeah? So whether it was the hard work that was done by the new National Party administration led by Dr. Mitchell, and in particular with the heavy input of one Gregory Clarence Bowen. Again, everybody the middle name today. For the West Coast Road or the East Coast Road. Yeah? As the Minister of Infrastructure. Or when these two individuals took down cable and wireless and the entire region benefited afterwards, because that's where the other service providers were able to enter the Caribbean. Because cable and wireless alone had a stranglehold on the region, and you had some people saying, but why they going after them? Because they were benefiting from some sort of arrangement due to that stranglehold. And Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, I showed you them on the plane going to have that meeting with Ectel and cable and wireless and so on to break the monopoly that was on the Grenadian people and on the Caribbean people. When they broke it here in Grenada, Trinidad benefit, Guyana, Suriname, all of them, South America started to benefit. The whole Caribbean started to benefit because the monopoly that was held on the Caribbean people was broken. That is why they were awarded, back in the 2010s somewhere there, they were awarded by Ectel because they led the charge to make sure that whether it's the new, how Flow is now, or Digicel, or all these other companies can enter and provide service, whether it's Spice Mobile or so. That was done by these individuals. And you're seeing the benefits of it. The hundreds of jobs that you now have in the call center industry here in Grenada. That became possible due to the liberalization of the telecoms system in the Caribbean region. And not just here in Grenada. When you go to St. Lucia and you hear about KM2. When you go to any of the other territories and you hear them talking about the telecoms and so on. That was done under a new National Party administration. And Dr. Mitchell and Honorable Gregory Boyd, they led the way in relation to those things. So it is not a one-off kind of thing, as in they just did one thing. Over those years with him as political leader of the new National Party, has made the new National Party into the most formidable political organization in the history of the island of Grenada, bar none. Nobody with common sense who is speaking the truth can deny that the new National Party was and remains the most formidable political organization in Grenada and one of the most, if not the most, in the region. And that was done under the stewardship of one Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. As I say, again, everybody the middle name today. Yeah? So, folks, it's 10 o'clock. I think it's good time for me to wrap because I think the transport is here. So, folks, we're going to be out there. Remember, yeah, we're heading out. The delegates, the observers, etc., heading out to the St. Andrew Anglican Secondary School on Sunday for the convention of the new National Party. It's going to be a historic convention. The first time the party is going to be having a new leader elected in the year 2024. We're going to be having a new leader elected, first time in 35 years. So looking forward to seeing you all there. God's willing, I will be there on Sunday. Folks, in everything you say, everything you do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'm heading out of here, and we'll be seeing on Sunday. Remember, it will be streamed, the evening session, well, what they call the evening session. The open session will be streamed, so you can look forward for that stream. You'll see a notice come out just before with the links and so on. But all you have to do is just go to the Talking Points YouTube page or the Facebook page and you will get it. But we'll still send out something just before it goes live. I am out.